Let's talk about something that most people don't want to face. Most people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to face it. The growing hidden hunger crisis right here at home in the good old US of A, okay? It's not just about food insecurity anymore. Like, that's not bad enough. It's about how fragile our entire system has become. Prices are up, supplies are thinning, and one small disruption can literally mean your grocery store shelves are empty within 48 hours. And then what? Here's the good news though, okay? You can build a cushion. It's never too late to start. If you haven't done it yet, it doesn't matter, and I don't care who on the internet tells you that it does, okay? It is never too late to start. A simple, smart, 3-month food supply can give you and your family real peace of mind. That's so important today. Real peace of mind. No panic, no fear, just security on your shelves. Let's talk about why it's more important than ever, why it's more urgent than ever, and exactly how to do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. We are all about pantry preparedness. I have some amazing statistics for you. You know, the hidden hunger crisis. As of today, nearly 42 million Americans stand to lose their SNAP benefits in just a couple of days if the federal government shutdown continues. And if you've been watching the news, there's little hope that it's not going to. Food banks, this was a very interesting equation that I found. Food banks warn that one SNAP meal equals about 9 food bank meals. Yeah. And they simply cannot scale to cover what the federal government provides. The food banks are there to help, not replace. And I get it. I get it. We have 1 million veterans that are receiving SNAP benefits. Veterans, okay? We have, so many elderly that receive them. We have children. People receive them for children. People receive them because they're foster parents and are fostering children that somebody else is incapable of raising. There are so many reasons why you get them. They so far outweigh any possible impropriety that some lowlife is doing. You literally do not cut off your arm because you have a hangnail, but that's what's going on right now. It's a terrifying time. Meanwhile, grocery food prices are still rising, right? Squeezing families that may never have been on assistance, but now face dwindling purchasing power. The working poor in this country, those numbers are rising also. We have major companies that are showing record profits. Profit, okay? Not gross, profit. That are paying their employees a non-livable wage. And so their employees have to get supplemental food assistance. And they work full-time. They work full-time and then some. That's what we're dealing with here. That is the hidden food crisis. All of these people with all of these different situations. 1 in 8 U.S. households now struggle with food insecurity. And it's going up, okay? Supply chains remain fragile. Tariffs, port delays, crop losses, and inflation are pushing prices higher every single month. I mean, it's not getting worse, on an annual, it's getting worse every single month. The just-in-time grocery model means that stores carry days, not weeks, of inventory. Literal days. They don't have to have a building big enough to store it in, so they don't have to store it. So it's literally just a few days. Even a small disruption, even a small one, like a storm or a strike or a transportation delay, can empty shelves. Something that small. Most people are literally only 3 days away from hunger. Let that sink in for a minute. because it's mind-boggling. In 2025, most people, we're not even talking about, the people that are needing the most help. We're talking about most people are only 3 days away from hunger because nobody stocks the pantry anymore. But we can choose to be 3 months ahead instead. We can make that choice. We can make that effort, which is not a huge effort. We can be intentional and make it happen. And you'll be so much better off for it. So what a 3-month supply really means, what this breaks down to, because when you say 3 months worth of food, you kind of go, right? And I get it because the maths, right? 3 months, let's say 90 days, times 3 meals per day per person is 270 meals per person. When you think about that, that's a lot, okay? But when you actually lay it down in front of you, it's not as much as you think. It's not hoarding. I want to make that extremely clear. It's not hoarding. It's household insurance. If you don't believe it's not hoarding, grab yourself a Webster, look it up, okay? Focus on shelf-stable staples you can actually eat, that you actually eat today. So there are shelf-stable staples for almost everything that you eat. Canned goods, grains, proteins, sauces, seasonings, you're all good. You're building a working pantry, not a bunker, and that is something to seriously remember. Even though when you say 270 meals, you think, I'm going to need a bunker. You don't. It's not that much. And I'm going to break this down for you, okay? While you're remembering that it's not a bunker, you also need to remember that you need to rotate it, you need to replace it, and you need to rely on it every week. This is not a one and done. This is not a set it and forget it. This is something that you are actually using on a daily basis. So you're not dwindling it because you're going to be replacing what you use. And that is how you keep a consistent 3-month supply or 6 or year or whatever. This is not something to sit and stare at. That you might as well buy a doorstop and try to gnaw on it. That is how useless stocking up 90 days worth of food and never touching it is. It's just ridiculous. So let's look at some examples. Let's remember that 270 meals for one person, okay, for 90 days. 25 pounds of rice, just plain old white rice, 25 pounds of rice equals 250 servings. So literally, for almost that entire 3-month period, you can have a serving of rice 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, for the cost of a 25-pound bag of rice. That is approximately $20-ish, depending on where you get it. See where I'm going? Okay. 25 pounds of flour. That will make you 50 loaves of bread with a little something added to it. Okay. 50 loaves of bread. 12 cans of chicken that you can buy at the grocery store. 12 cans of chicken equal 24 protein-rich meals, because an entire serving is not the entire can of chicken. So you divide it, and you can make a multitude of things with it, and you have 24 meals off of 12 cans of chicken. So do the math for that. You got it. 12 jars of home canned soup. If you don't home can, don't let this stop you. Don't think in jars, think in containers. 12 containers of homemade soup put up in the freezer is the same thing. It's just as good. That equals 12 easy dinners. You add a little bit of rice to it, and it beefs it up just a little bit more, You mix and match some things here and there, some pasta, some grains, add some bread to, munch on the side with your soup. It's all good. The soup has vegetables in it. It's even better. It doesn't take a lot of food to create 270 meals for one person. So just as a real quick recap, 90 days times 3 equals 270 meals per person for 90 days. Okay? 25 pounds of rice is 250 servings. 25 pounds of flour is 50 loaves of bread. That's more bread than you can eat in 3 months. One person. Remember, I'm talking about one person, okay? 12 cans of chicken is 24 meals. 12 containers of homemade soup is 12 easy dinners or easy lunches, whatever the case may be. That's exactly how hard it has to be. It is not difficult at all. The psychology of preparedness, okay, that can get a little fun. Food security reduces anxiety. Absolutely 100%. And there's a lot of anxiety running around anymore right now with good reason. It's emotional stability in a jar, in a container, on a shelf. That's what food security does. Having food at home helps you stay calm. It just does. Especially when others panic. So while everyone else is out there doing the milk and bread run or, running around grabbing toilet paper, that kind of stuff, you are at home with your slippers on, a comfy snuggie wrapped around you, and a good book, sipping a cup of your favorite coffee, letting the chaos ensue elsewhere because you took the time to become prepared. 90 days, that's it. If you have the ability to attend classes at the library, the senior center, any place that teaches different things on being self-reliant, that's great. And it doesn't have to be the all-encompassing. You're not going to learn everything you need to be self-reliant in an hour at the library, okay? But you may learn a little something about herbs. You may learn a little something about stocking a pantry or canning or sewing or, whatever. There are classes out there. And now I challenge you because you can't meet your people unless you people, right? If you know something well enough that you feel that you can stand in front of people and talk about it for an hour, approach your local senior center, community center, or library and offer to teach that class and meet people interested in the same thing. It's really easy. It's a great way to meet people, and it's a great way to grow your experience and become more self-reliant in the interim. As far as the psychology of preparedness, right? You will learn to shop smarter. You may not do it right at the onset. It may take a little time, but you'll do it. You'll learn how to shop smarter. You will learn how to cook creatively. I am not talking about 7-course meals, fancy dancy. No, I'm talking food on a plate, in a spoon, on your fork, in your face. It's food. Stop making it what it's not. Yes, I understand. Good food and presentation and everything. That's great. Okay? I'm not a 5-star restaurant. We feed ourselves to sustain ourselves. It is not entertainment. Not at this level, it's not. So that part doesn't matter. But it will still allow you to cook creatively, to learn to substitute different things, to take a few chances. Hey, I'm going to try this. Make sure to write it down. Trust me, you'll never remember, okay? And it'll definitely teach you to waste less. 40% of the food purchased in this country ends up in a landfill because people think it doesn't have value. And in the meantime, literally, there's people going hungry. When you know that dinner is on the shelf, no matter what's happening in the world, that's real peace of mind. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to build it, kind of step by step, really super easy. And for this, if you have questions, toss them in the comment section, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory, definitely an overview. Okay, I'm not going to get down to the nitty gritty because what you put in your pantry is probably different than what I put in mine. So 4 weeks, that's what we're looking at right now, 4 weeks. Week number 1, you're not going to spend a dime. You're going to inventory every bit of food that's in your house. Freezer, refrigerator, cabinets, all of it. Write it down. Grab a steno pad, grab a scrap piece of paper, grab whatever you want, okay? And write it down and write down the quantity. Because it's important to know what you've got. What do you already have? You don't know what you need unless you know what you have. It's that simple. That's week 1. Doesn't cost you a dime. Week number 2, we're going to fill those protein gaps. So now you take that stuff in your budget from week 1 that you saved, add it to the stuff in your budget for week 2 to build your pantry, and you're going to get canned meats, you're going to get beans, and you're going to get soups, because all of them have protein. Obviously, don't go for just plain vegetable soup. Get soups that have protein. That's what you're going to do. $10 to $20, whatever you got. Fill those protein gaps. Protein's very important. Week number 3. Oh yeah, when you go home, update your inventory, okay? Week number 3, you're going to focus on the carbs, because you still need carbs. Carbs are good, just not mass quantities. So look at rice, pasta, oats, potatoes. I would highly recommend dehydrated potatoes, like hash browns or, the scallop potatoes, whatever, because they're shelf stable. And that's kind of what we're looking at here. We want shelf stability as much as we can, because that just makes it last longer. That's going to be week number 3. So you've got your proteins, and now you've got your carbs. Now we're going to look at week number 4, where we're going to round it out a little bit, okay? Add in some vegetables, frozen or canned, don't care, dehydrated, don't care, whatever, whatever works for you. Oils, spices, baking supplies, comfort foods. So oils, you need it to cook. Spices, you really want it to cook, okay? Baking supplies, so you've got the flour, you need yeast, unless you're going to learn how to do sourdough. You need a little bit of sugar. You need, whatever you need to bake, whatever it is that you bake. And then comfort foods would be like coffee, hot chocolate, whatever is a comfort food to you. Popcorn. You can get a lot of mileage off of popcorn. Let's talk about a budget tip here while we're going grocery shopping. You're looking at $10 to $20 a week. That's it. I'm not asking you to spend your entire paycheck, okay? Add that $10 to $20 a week to your grocery run for shelf-stable extras. Make sure that you're trying to do as much shelf-stable as possible. You want to shop the sales. Start looking at the sales papers. See where you'll get the best bang for your buck. You're definitely going to want to learn how to do that. You're going to want to learn how to store it properly, okay? And it will last you a really good long time. Airtight containers. That's what you need, airtight containers. If you have canning jars are brilliant. If you have those lid lock ones, the snap tops, perfect. If you have Tupperware, perfect, as long as the lid goes on secure, However you can secure it in an airtight container, that's what you want to do. Let's talk about maintaining our 3-month pantry, because it's not enough to figure out what you need and then to go get what you need. That's not where it ends. You have to maintain it. Just like with anything else of any value, it has upkeep. Like your car, you need oil changes. You need to check the air in your tires. You need, all that fun stuff. Clean the windshield every now and then for giggles. But you need to maintain your pantry. It's not a one and done. Never is it a one and done. Never is it a set it and forget it. This is stuff that you are going to rotate through always. You're going to use some part of that every single day, and replace it when you go shopping. So use the first in, first out method. The oldest stuff on your shelf gets used first. Easiest way to define it, okay? Keep an updated inventory list. You're talking about 3 months. It is not a horrible amount, okay? It's easy enough to check it off when you use it to make, meals, and then add it to your grocery shopping list for when you go grocery shopping later. That's how you do it. You just keep backfilling it. Definitely rotate seasonally, because you eat differently in the summer than you do in the winter, vice versa. You want to refill it after every use. So like I said, you're going to backfill whatever you use, and you are going to use it every single day. Check your expiration dates, for literally the only reason being that 90% of what you buy, the expiration dates are actually best buy dates, and it doesn't mean anything, okay? I have a whole video about this. I'll be happy to link it at the end of this one. You want to keep an eye on those dates so that you know what is the oldest and what to use first. Incorporate, if your budget allows, after you get that 90-day setup, That's going to free up some space in your budget, my friends, okay? So at that point, incorporate some freeze-dried or dehydrated foods like fruits and vegetables for variety and for nutrition. It helps a lot. I want to implore, don't wait for a crisis to start building security. That is like waiting to purchase car insurance after you ran into a building, you know? It doesn't work that way. You need to set it up ahead of time, just like with any other insurance. Start today. Inventory today. One shelf, one can, one meal at a time. That's all that you need to focus on. And you can do it. I don't know of anybody that can't do it, because I receive your letters, I see your comments, and I know you're out there doing it. So literally anybody can do it. You can do the woe is me. And everyone at some point or another is allowed to do a woe is me. And you've got a good 24 hours to wrap yourself in it and snuggle in, okay? But after that, you need to get up and you need to do something, because nobody's coming to rescue you. We have to do it. We have to do it for ourselves. And you can. You absolutely can. We can't control the world. And I think we all understand that. I think we all know that we can't control the world. We can't control the chaos right now or at any time. But what we can control is our shelves and what's on them. That we can control. Let's take back that power together. As a team, as a community, we can take back that power. We can take people who are just starting out underneath our wing and say, you've got this, you can do this. Please don't give up, because anyone can do it. It's going to be hard sometimes. Sometimes it's going to be easy. Sometimes you're going to wonder why you bother. And when you get it all set up, you're going to look back and go, that wasn't that bad. And I feel so much better. When everybody else is scrambling, your pantry will be your peace. And we all need a little more peace lately. Things are going to get rough. They're going to get rough for a lot of people. Be kind. Be supportive. If you can't do either one of those, shut up. It's that simple. Until next time, everybody, be safe. Keep stacking it to the rafters, my friends.